Hi, this is Scott Somerton from the Guilty Pleasure Cinema, celebrating the movies you're embarrassed to love and showcasing those you might have missed. And you're listening to The Morbidly Made, or something or other.
Please don't scream. You're so beautiful.
Well, remember. Fuck! It was too long of a pause. I didn't think you were going to. Sorry. I was going to say, remember, you're introing it.
Oh. Okay. All right, and we're back, and it's the Morbidly Made. John, I don't know about you, but we have taken... What is going on with us? Like, why have we not been here in so long? It's been 3 weeks, hasn't it?
I don't know. The big problem, I think, for us right now is I've had some personal stuff going on. I mean, a friend of mine died. That kind of threw us off a week. And then, we've also been in pre-production.
Yes.
And that's been kicking our ass. So
Finally moving toward production. I actually, right before we came on air, I got confirmation of the availability of another location. So that pretty much firms us up. I think shooting will commence. It was supposed to be this past weekend, but unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, it had to be pushed back. Now, I believe that by the end of this month, we will be shooting Camp Out Nightmare.
So, yeah, definitely be ready for more extreme time lapse.
Well, actually, I think at this point, from this point forward, the only extreme time lapse you're going to get is probably toward the end of July when post-production starts, because that's going to be editing our asses off every single day to get the movie cut together. So that's probably when you're going to get another lapse. But until then, we should be pretty regular, like a bowel movement. So.
Wow, Mike.
Or like a bowel movement should be, I'm sorry.
Thanks for comparing our show to a shit. Thank you.
Well, sometimes it could be considered shit, at least by some people, so.
Oh, of course. Everything could. I mean, yeah. But...
So, sir, what have you been watching as of late? I know that our Contagious movie was VHS, and I think I told you...
Well, we'll dive into that in a second.
Well, yeah. Although, yeah, there was some other stuff that I watched, and I know there's stuff that you watched, too, so let's...
Yeah. Let me start this off with a warning, all right? The movie with the absolute worst title I have ever heard, I figured I would give it a shot, Maybe it was just poorly titled, maybe it just had bad trailers, I didn't know.
What was the title?
The Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghosts of Georgia.
I bought the Blu-ray.
Because that makes fucking sense, doesn't it? The Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghosts of Georgia.
How does a movie that's called The Haunting in Connecticut 2 take place in Georgia? That does not make sense to me. Is it just capitalizing on the title?
Yeah, that is all it is. That is the only fucking connection is there in the title. That is it. Oh. Okay, so I tried to give this a shot, and I was drinking.
Of course. SoCo, right?
Yeah, and I started drinking more, and this thing is a fucking train wreck. I mean, the acting is not great. The direction's not great. The writing was not good. It was just bad all around. I mean, you could tell they had a lot of money. It looked pretty, but it was just a fucking train wreck. I literally checked the time 2 or 3 times throughout this film and honestly considered shooting myself at least twice just to make this fucking film stop. It was that bad.
Wait, in all fairness, I'll be honest with you. Sometimes when I watch a Blu-ray in the PS3, and even on my Blu-ray player, I hit the display button several times because I like to check the bit rate of the film.
No, see, I was just checking to see how much longer it had. It was just like, oh, this has got to be about over, right? Look, and it's like, I got an hour left. It's like, what? Really?
So it drug on.
Oh, God, yes. And then I was just like, oh, it's got to have like 5 minutes left. And I looked down and it's like, I still have a half hour left. It's like, how the fuck do I still have a half hour left?
Yeah, I think it ran like, I want to say like an hour and 40 minutes, somewhere in there.
I don't know. It was about an hour and 38 minutes, too fucking long.
Ah, I see. Yeah, but it was funny because I remember you were texting me while you were watching this, and the first text that I got from you, you were like, this is actually pretty good. I think you said that I texted you during one of the scares, so you actually jumped a little bit.
Yeah, because, like, it's so fucking choreographed. Like, I'm watching it, and I was like, oh, please don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't. God damn it, you did the fucking typical bullshit. But, like, you did text me. You texted me at the exact same moment that there was a jump scare that I already knew was going to happen. But it was just the fact that, you know, it was about 2 a.m, I had all the lights off, and all of a sudden my iPhone just, I had it on its face down, so the fucking, you know, flash is going off, lighting up the whole room, and it got me just because I was not expecting that. So you scared me more than this movie did.
The sad thing is you actually fell for a jump scare. Sir, how old are you?
Dude, this movie is fucking bad. God. Anyway, moving on. I watched Gangster Squad. Gangster Squad's pretty good.
I wanted to buy that, but I have not bought it as of yet.
I tried to rewatch Sinister because so many people gave it good reviews. I didn't even finish it. I got about 20 minutes in. Nothing was changing for me.
I'm not going to say that... I didn't totally hate the movie. I'll probably never watch it again. But it's just... It's one of those where I think it was a good concept, but it could have been executed a little better than it was.
Yeah.
And plus, they stole the Camp Out Nightmare, the man's mask. And
oh, God.
They stole his look.
Anyway, I watched Madison County. I like that movie. Obviously, VHS, Maniac. I watched Sushi Girl. Surprisingly good independent film.
Oh, Mark Hamill's in that too, isn't he?
Yep. And
so how old does he look?
He
probably looks beat,
he looks old and fat.
So how's he going to play Luke Skywalker in Episode 7?
He's not. There's no fucking way he can.
I'm sorry, he's supposed to play like an Obi-Wan Kenobi character, but he is going to be Luke Skywalker still, but I think he's going to be an older and wiser Jedi version of
and fatter.
He must see. I want to watch. Is that on Netflix?
Yeah,
right now?
It's on Netflix.
Okay, because Tony Todd's in that too, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
It's pretty good. I was entertained by it. I rewatched Evil Dead, the original, because it's awesome.
Thank God.
Yeah, and then for the movies, I watched Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever, just to try it again, and Poor Ty West. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that is on your filmography. God damn.
That bad?
Dude, I can't even say this one's a train wreck. This one feels so fucking pieced together because there's moments where there's like honestly beautiful setups and like good reactions, and you can tell there's really good direction and whatnot.
Right.
And then there's complete fucking bullshit where it's just like it looks like fucking high schoolers shot it, or bad reactions. You can tell that this was a film that somebody was in control of, and somebody else just came in and they had to splice the two things together. I really wish I knew who the other person was that came in, because I know that Ty had a big dispute with the producers, and they did not like the way the film was going, and apparently they feel that, you know, characters with knowledge of shit going down would make completely retarded choices. I don't know. Apparently they were trying to make it a comedy, and it's not fucking funny.
Well, I'll have to go back and look in the archives because I believe that I had an interview with Ty. Well, I didn't talk to him personally, but I think back on Rabbit and Red at some point when we had Ty on for the Innkeepers. We had asked him about that briefly, and I think he did mention a name, but I don't remember what it is at this point.
Yeah, if you find out, let me know, because, damn, that guy needs slapped.
Well, so I guess Cabin Fever Patient Zero, which is supposed to be the third film, I guess you're not looking forward to that, or do you think that it could be better?
Hopefully they're just going to ignore that one and actually try and make a good film again. I don't know. I don't have high confidence after watching this one. I will go by the trailer. I mean, if the trailer looks halfway decent, I'll watch it. If the trailer looks like, this, no.
So wait, but how can you tell if the trailer's going to look like Cabin Fever 2?
I'm just saying if it gives me that vibe, if the tone comes off that way and whatnot, I probably will not be interested enough to watch it.
But do you feel? But can a trailer actually give you that vibe? Is what I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm usually a pretty good judge off from a trailer. I mean, sometimes I'm completely wrong and very surprised, but most of the time I'm pretty spot on.
Like with Lords of Salem. Okay, moving on.
Anyway, past that, I watched a lot of Fringe and a lot of Doctor Who, so that was about it for me.
Doctor Who.
I like Doctor Who. It's a good show.
I want to get into him, but it just seems so weird, and I think I talked to you about this before. Like, the Doctor's name is Doctor Who, so it's like...
No. His name's...
Is he an alien?
Yeah, he's an alien, and his name is Doctor. And it's just like a running gag that they've had of, you're the Doctor? Doctor Who?
Doctor... Okay.
Yeah, he's just the Doctor.
So maybe he has a name, but they just call him Doctor Who because they don't know what his real name is.
Well, the whole thing is on his planet, you're given a name. His has never been revealed yet that I've seen. I have not watched all the episodes. It's hinted at, but once you become a certain age, you choose your own title, and that's kind of what you go by.
So technically he could be Dr. Woozle Wuzzle. Yeah,
but, he just chose the Doctor because he likes to help people or whatnot, and I'm willing to bet there's somebody out there that is a huge Doctor Who fan and going to write in or call in or whatever and completely school me on this, but,
of course,
you got to give me credit. I've only been watching it for, pretty much 6 months now. I've worked my way through the first 6 seasons, whatever is on Netflix.
Holy shit, you did 6 seasons in that short amount of time?
Dude, it's a good show.
Well, I did, 3 seasons of Leave It to Beaver in about 3 months, so I guess that we're about on par with the same thing there.
Yeah, except mine's a good show.
Oh, that's mean. Well, I did want to get into, before we got into VHS, I kind of wanted to get into the ending of Bates Motel. I know you did not watch it, John, but I'm sure some of our listeners have seen the first season of the show, which did end, I believe it was last week, 15-episode run, and I believe obviously it will be back for a season 2 at some point. I'm just not sure when. John, I think you're going to dig this show, because I think I told you before I was very skeptical with it in the beginning, but as it carried on, I kind of got over the idea that the house was CGI and all that other stuff.
So all the unimportant things that it kind of bothered you at first, you've just grown to accept, and it's compelling enough of a story with good characters that you get past it?
Well, yeah, considering the way that they ended it was really kind of like a nice... It ended it on such a note that you're really interested to see where we're going to go from here.
Was Norman looking through a peephole jerking it?
No.
Or is that just in the remake?
No. Yeah, that's that awful Vince Vaughn interpretation of Norman Bates. That should be banned forever. See, I don't want to give away the ending because you haven't seen it. But
no, see, here's the thing: is I'm actually going to hold off, and I'm going to try and sit down. I'm going to work my way through a couple seasons or episodes at a time till I work my way through the whole season. I also want to catch up on Hannibal. I'm looking forward to both of those coming out as a complete set.
Well, Hannibal is coming out. I believe they said that's coming to DVD and Blu-ray later this year. Not sure about Bates Motel, but that's why I can't give away the ending here because you haven't seen it. Also, I started to, they're starting to replay The Following on Fox. They started it this past Friday, so I'm DVRing that now to kind of catch up because I heard that that's a pretty decent show, so.
Yeah, I've heard decent things. I've heard good and bad about that, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that'll be something to definitely check out, but...
What have you been watching, Mike? Anything of note besides Leave It to Beaver?
Let's see. I still watch Cheaters. That's a daily ritual almost.
The fuck?
Yeah, Cheaters, Leave It to Beaver. What else have I watched? The Shout Factory release or Scream Factory release, rather, of Town That Dreaded Sundown and The Evictors, their Blu-ray DVD combo pack. That is an amazing set, and there's a nice commentary on The Town That Dreaded Sundown with Justin Beam, who I personally kind of can't stand, but he's on there, with a Town That Dreaded Sundown historian. And it's funny because to me, Justin Beam kind of sounds really... I don't know what it is, but he seems really full of himself in the commentary.
That's never a good way to come off.
I don't know. And believe me, when he did the commentary on Halloween 4 and 5 on those Blu-rays, I was cool with it. I thought that it was decent. But it's like this time, maybe he seems a little bit too much like he's a big man on campus, and he just... That's what he does now. But it has nice little interviews as well with Andrew Prine, who played one of the deputies, Dawn Wells, who was one of the people who got shot in the face. And I actually find that kind of humorous, the way that the bullet kind of hits her and she goes like her mouth just like drops open and her head flies back. It was kind of funny. And then they talk to the cinematographer, which is weird because of all the interview featurettes, the interview with the cinematographer is the longest at like 12 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, but surprisingly, he gives a lot of insight as to, what it was like to shoot the film and the different, just his style of shooting. It was very interesting, very intriguing. I will check, I recommend it. And the other Charles B. Pierce feature, The Evictors, which is on the DVD only, was a nice 1979 film, kind of about a couple moves into a house and it's kind of possessed by spirits. So it was interesting to say the least, considering because I've never seen it before. So
okay. And
then the Burning Shout Factory release was good as well. So definitely pick both those up. And I still have American Ninja 3, The Domination, The Howling, and Life Force sitting there to watch. But we'll get to those within the next week or two because they're all slated for release on June 19th.
Now,
or 18th, sorry.
Which Life Force is it that you have?
Well...
Because I know there's a couple different movies named Life Force.
This is the one about the vampires in space that Tobe Hooper did in 1996.
Oh, okay.
And the good thing about this Blu-ray is it's a Blu-ray DVD combo pack, but the Blu-ray features the theatrical version as well as the uncut international version, which runs about 15 minutes longer.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. But I'm going to put you on the spot right now, Mike.
Yes, sir.
You gave me some trivia a little bit earlier before we were on air,
and we can get into that on the news.
Yeah, but I got one for you. Now, When I was a kid, early 90s, there was a film on cable called Life Force, and it was about one of our satellites returning and had an alien life form on it, and they were trying to figure out what it was, and it just starts running amok, and the space station killing everyone.
Yeah.
What do you know about this film? Because I have not been able to find it. When I'm older now, looking back, trying to find it to rewatch it, I can't fucking find this thing anywhere.
Are you sure it was called Life Force?
I'm pretty fucking sure.
Because I'm gonna tell you, I think I know what you're talking about, and I don't believe it's called Life Force.
Now I remember there was this one really cool scene where it impaled a man with an M16 to a wall. I remember that kill. 'Cause that one stuck with me. I thought that was cool. And like the whole thing was, it was just afraid of us trying to repair the satellite to fly home to Mars or whatever.
This is really gonna kill me. Hold on, let me just type this one thing and just...
Oh!
No, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but I mean, I have names, but I want to make sure that I, know what I'm... Oh no, shoot, that's what it is. Hold on. This is it. Wait, this might be it. Let me see.
Come on, buddy. What do you got? Now that you had to cheat.
There was a movie that came out in 1980. Do you remember anybody that was in it by chance?
Nope, not at all, man. I was like fucking 12.
Okay. Well, the only reason I'm saying this is because I know they played this throughout. They played this a lot on like local TV back in the day. It's rated R. It's 88 minutes. And let me see if I can get the storyline up. It says, two lovers stationed on a remote base in the asteroid fields of Saturn.
Nope, wrong. This was on Earth. There was a returning satellite. But anyway, let's move on instead of boring people with you trying to cheat and figure out the answer.
Well, obviously it's not Saturn III from 1980 like I thought it might have been.
Nope. All right, so...
I will find out what it is, though.
All right. We usually have Contagious Movie of the Week. This time it was the fans' choice, and you guys chose VHS.
Unfortunately.
So, let's dive into it. Michael J., what did you think of VHS?
I couldn't make it through it, sir, and I will watch it again to give it another shot, but I made it about 15 minutes into it, and I couldn't take it anymore.
Now, what was going on at 15 minutes in that made you shut it off?
I don't really know. It just because you know how it looks. I don't have a problem with the fact that it looks like it was shot on VHS because that was quite charming about the whole thing.
Seeing as how that was the gimmick of it.
Right, and I'm like, okay, this is actually pretty neat. I'm down for this. This is cool. And the next thing I know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, it's going back and forth between what's happening and that they're taping over. And first off, the transition from what they were actually recording back to what they were taping over, which was obviously a sex tape, was a pretty bad transition because that's not how it would look.
Meh.
So
most people nowadays actually probably aren't that aware of it because VHS isn't on, the mind anymore. Not that many people are common with it, or at least the younger generation.
Right, but I mean, these would have fuzzy lines, and it would have. I feel that it would look a little different than it did. And also, it's just I was kind of disoriented by it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you know what? I could either start season 4 of Leave It to Beaver, or I could watch the rest of this movie. And I hate to say it, but Leave It to Beaver won out.
So, the movie that our listeners chose for us to watch,
yes,
you didn't even have enough time to watch because you're just this is a little, I don't know. Oh, fuck it, I'm just going to watch what I want.
Exactly.
All right, so Mike's is basically saying, fuck you, listeners. I'm going to watch Leave It to Beaver instead.
I'm not. I couldn't stand it. I wish that I could, listeners. I really do, but I couldn't do it.
Okay, so let me dive into it then.
Yes, please do.
All right, so this is my second time through VHS.
You poor man, by the way.
The story that they used to tie this all together is probably the weakest part of this film. I don't think it's well set up. I don't think it's well executed. It's not terrible. Once I get into it, I can get past that. It's just, it seems a little stupid. It seems a little long. It could have been better done. But once you actually get into the stories themselves are actually quite good. A lot of people complain about Ty West's segment, and I will freely admit his is the weakest segment. But now that I've kind of seen it twice, I can see that there is some good stuff in it. It's just not fully flushed out. I don't think he had the time to really work it out. I mean, what works for Ty is the good slow burn. We've seen that with Devil's House. We've seen that with The Innkeepers.
You mean House of the Devil, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, House of the Devil. And he's really good at that. This short, not so much. I'll give him. I'm not going to say he's not good at shorts, and I'm going to wait for ABCs of Death to check that out. But
Actually, it's out, sir.
I haven't seen it yet, so I'm just saying I'll wait, to watch that one to get the verdict. But altogether, I actually enjoyed this one. There are some really good parts, and one you actually get the story behind it. That the concept is that the reason it's on VHS now is because these collectors are collecting these terrible, nasty videotapes of things that have happened to people. And instead of them being on the internet where they can easily be tracked or whatever, they're using VHS, because how the fuck are you going to track that? And I don't know. I enjoyed it altogether. I'm giving it a 7.
A 7?
A 7.
Now, see, if you enjoyed it all together, I would say it deserves more than a 7.
No. I enjoyed it, but, at one point I'm going to have to break down my rating. Now, 7's a good film that I'd start to consider purchasing it. And I'm not going to lie, I will purchase this if they ever get it figured out, the release for it actually on VHS. Now, I did talk to Brad about that, and he said that they're trying to fine-tune the details on that for the United States. I mean, the UK's already got it, but the last time I talked to him, they were just trying to figure out the details on that.
Right.
But, I mean, when it comes out on VHS, I'm going to buy it on VHS, but I don't know. To me, it's not good enough right now as is to purchase alone, but it's a very good film. It's enjoyable. I have no problem watching it again. So it's just not buyable right away to me. So.
Okay. And by the way, before we go to break, I think I found your movie. Hangar 18 from 1980.
I have no idea, Ben.
I have an idea that might be
Okay, well, let's take a quick break. I'll check out the trailer, and when we come back, I can make fun of Mike for being wrong.
You can lock your doors, but you can't lock the madman out of your mind. Maniac. No one under 17 admitted.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you Avery, Cody, and Scott Somerton from Guilty Pleasure Cinema. Guys that have supported us so much that we decided to make them an honorary part of the show. They are The Maid. And now, The Maid with their thoughts on the Maniac remake.
It was really enjoyable. I don't think I've ever seen a movie that was in the point of view of a killer. You sort of actually felt bad for him, too, because it seemed like he hated himself for killing these women, and yet he still did it anyway. I was just really shocked by the whole thing. The ripping of the hair thing, again, I was really impressed with it. I mean, it doesn't, like, when it comes to horror movies, it doesn't take a lot to impress me anymore. I'm just really impressed by different kind of ways of filming, and I've never seen Elijah Wood in anything before, so it was kind of neat to see a somewhat new actor play a part like that. I mean, I know he's not new, but I've never seen anything he's done.
I hadn't seen the original in years and years and years, and actually my first thought of it, just starting off, I was like, why in the hell would an A-lister like Elijah Woods do a remake of a B horror movie from the 80s, you know? Just didn't make sense, but within minutes into the film, I saw why. I mean, it was a hell of a character to portray. I mean, he nailed it, I thought. So he made me feel very uncomfortable watching it. And it's been a long time since I've watched a horror film that actually made me feel uncomfortable. But all the first-person POV shots and everything just made you feel like you were right there, which I'm sure that's what the director intended for but it worked. The first kill, where he impels her through the chin and then is holding her hair and scalps her. I'm like, okay, this is the tone we're setting for this movie. This is going to be ultra violent, and they're not holding back on this one. I'm going to give it a really strong 7.5, maybe. I don't know, I'll get an 8. It had a good storyline. It didn't lose momentum. It kept me hooked in. So yeah, I'll give it that. And just Elijah Woods. I mean, he's a great actor. And like I said, the gore, it wasn't as over the top, but it was still, like I said, with the POV shots and everything, it was still very unsettling.
It's a first-person movie, which to me is pretty damn fascinating, especially considering you're the POV of the killer. That, to me, just... What? Like, are they going to be able to... Are you supposed to humanize him, or even root for him, or are you going to be disgusted? And... thankfully, they actually tried to look at all angles. The bit that really got me, though, was when he stabbed the girl in the car park. He cut her Achilles. And god damn it. It was just... I can't even put into words just that feeling of how wrong it was. Because you're like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And then he did it. And it is actually a neat little thing that I'm realizing with that, in that... because he's on medication and he's on drugs, and you can almost look at this as you're the voice in his head, but he's not listening to it. What I didn't like from that same exact scene was when he was stabbing her. There didn't seem to be any downward force. So there's definite inconsistencies involved with stuff. Like he put the knife in and then yanked it out, is what it looked like. I know that's silly, but when the movie's literally focusing on so many details, little things like that, unfortunately start to stand out. I will say that Elijah Wood was a brilliant person to cast for it, because he's kind of that mousy guy that's kind of, the quiet ones that you could easily see filling this role, and yet he's the kind of guy that you don't normally see play that. I mean, he's Frodo, for crying out loud. What's he doing here? But that's why it works, because it's so twisted, and it shouldn't be there. Gets back to the whole, manic depressive, maniac, psychic break and everything.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Right before the break, we challenged Mike, or at least I did, and he failed. He said Hangar 18, which, Toby Hooper made.
No, Toby Hooper didn't make Hangar 18.
I thought you said Toby Hooper made that.
Toby Hooper made Life Force.
Oh, whatever. Hangar 18 was a fucking Megadeth song, and whatever movie came out, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got it because somebody had wanted to see it, and,
Megadeth did it better. Anyway, the actual movie was called Life Form, not Life Force, also called Invader, and still looks mildly intriguing to me, even after 10 years since I haven't seen it or whatnot, so maybe I might check it out, don't know. Anyway, so... Maniac. Let's get into this bitch.
Right.
Michael J. What do you think of it, buddy?
There is not enough good things that I can say about this film. And I mean, I know we had the guys talk about it before, and they made some very valid points, and most of which I agree with. So, I mean, the movie as a whole was... really, very well done. I mean, it really did keep true to the original, but it did add, a few other elements to it. The whole first person thing was really, really just good. I mean...
Good? Dude, that was fucking amazing. I can see more shit like this starting to come out now. I can see this as like the groundbreaking first film that's really broke this area.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say, though, if they do that, it's going to get old. And I think it's going to get old faster than if you had, like, the found footage stuff.
Yeah, that's just what I was going to reference. I really hope this doesn't become the new found footage, because for this film, it fit it perfectly. I mean, it could not have been done better. And it was done in such a fucking way. The entire movie is shot completely first person, except for, the last 30 seconds, Mike?
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's done in such a way that it doesn't distract you at all. You don't even really realize it. And that's what was so fucking cool about that to me.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a pioneer in that type of filmmaking. And plus, Elijah Wood was, amazing. He was born to play that role. And it's just, I've never seen him, and I've seen him in, a few things like Lord of the Rings, and even going back to like 1993 when he was in The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin. He's never played a character like this.
Well, I think he's kind of hinted at it with Sin City, but it wasn't fully flushed out. We had no idea. I think a lot of people kind of got the idea that he could actually play a dark, kind of creepy, sinister character, and a lot of people were surprised by that. And to me, this was an incredibly smart career move on his part, because he's doing Wilfred. He's probably got some more shit going on that I'm unaware of. I know he's got a cameo or something in the Hobbit trilogy, whatever. But this was so smart on his part, because he's, putting a whole new level, kind of redefining what he is capable of. And his range of motion and believability in this is fucking amazing.
Right, and you mentioned The Hobbit, and, I'm thinking back to The Lord of the Rings. Those were movies that he shot back to back to back. And, I think that he really needed to do something to kind of get out of Frodo's shadows, so to speak, and just do something new and do something fresh. Not that a remake is always fresh, but this was like a fresh take.
Yeah, this one's fresh.
It totally is. And, I will be one of the only people to say, the first person to say, because everybody knows.
I doubt that even.
Well, everybody knows that I love the Halloween remake, and I will say right here and right now that the Maniac remake is way, way, way better than Rob Zombie's Halloween.
How about Halloween 2?
That's a tough one, because Halloween 2 is a work of genius. But you know what?
There's a lot of artistic qualities that Rob brought to that.
Yeah.
But I think the mix of artistic quality, just production and how it was put out, and performances, this movie outshines it. It really does. And that wasn't even a choice to me, but I think I wanted to kind of clarify what was going on in your head, Mike.
Right. Well, everybody has to clarify what's going on in my head, because it's a jumbled mess up there. So.
Yeah, most of it involves Danielle Harris, too.
No. Not at all. No Danielle Harris. Well, some Danielle Harris, but not totally.
I have not seen the entire original. I've seen bits and pieces. How does this really stack up to the original, Mike?
Was this on YouTube that you just watched clips?
No. I remember being a kid and catching it on IFC. I caught bits and pieces. Like I think it's the beginning with the gunshot blast. I've seen that, which that's fucking cool as shit. But I don't remember seeing the whole film. I don't know if I did, if I just fell asleep. I don't remember seeing the whole thing. So I'm just kind of curious from your aspect, how does this stack up compared?
It's been a while since I've seen the original film, but I will say this. The character of Frank still does have mommy issues, and he still does do the whole mannequin thing. I just think, in a way, that, and I think it lends itself to the whole first-person aspect of it. It's just more brutal, and it's more kind of like visceral and go-for-your-throat type of thing.
I really thought that whole story between him and Anna was really well done. It was believable. You could get both characters, aspects of it, and, you could relate to both. And it just added this whole kind of heart to the movie,
Right, and, and I also hate to say it, but the character was written and acted, so well by Elijah that you didn't... I don't want to say that he was not wrong for, doing what he did and killing as he killed and all that stuff, because he totally was. But you don't you also get that sense of sadness towards him, especially like how he has the flashbacks of his mother doing, having the sex and doing, being the prostitute and all that stuff. It's just, I love that you can actually feel like a range of emotions for this person. Like, 1 minute you feel that he is just like a complete and utter monster, and then the next minute you see him as this lost soul who deep down has a caring and compassionate side. I mean, it goes as saying, when he goes into Anna's apartment and, he kills that guy and he, the boyfriend or whatever it was, and he like...
The gay friend,
right.
The gay friend.
And he pushes him through the door and he's like, I just want to talk. You know what I mean? It's like...
See, no, right? I'm going to dispute just a tiny bit, but here's the thing. I do fully agree with you. His performance was utterly amazing. I mean, it was so good that you end up empathizing with him, even though you've seen him do these terrible, terrible things. Right. And you end up fucking forgiving him, or not even really forgiving, but at least forgetting, and actually empathizing with him throughout the movie. But here's where it started to break down, is when he was honestly trying to have this relationship with her, and then she kind of discovered what he'd been doing, who he was. And the gay friend came in, and he ended up having to kill him, and he throws him through the bathroom door where she's got herself barricaded in. Right. And he comes in all nonchalant, walking over the guy's body saying, I just want to talk, I just want to talk. And that right in there is where you really realize his full lack of fucking sanity. That doesn't even faze him, where she's losing her shit over it, and he's just like, what? I just want to talk. I just want to talk.
It was just... I mean, it still just, like, kind of floors me when I think about it, that, and it's just... It's weird, because you think, like, there's people like that out there in this world, and it's just...
And that's where this one succeeded so much, is it made it believable the entire way. I believed it. There was nothing that I was just like, oh, that's bullshit. I believed every aspect of this, and I was on board. I thought, this is the most realistic depiction of a serial killer I've ever seen. And I've said that to people. I've done research. I've wrote my own short screenplay for a serial killer, and this just, honestly, watching this made me kind of dispute with myself as to if that was even worth making after watching this. It was so well done. It's just like, fuck, do I even bother now? This movie takes you on a roller coaster ride, and it does such an amazing job in getting you invested, even though you see these terrible, terrible things happen. And the story was great. Honestly, this is probably one of the top 3 films I've seen this year. Literally, I started watching it and stopped, I want to say probably 15 minutes into it, calling Mike and saying, we got to do something with this. This thing is fucking fantastic. And it stuck with me. I've seen it probably 3 times now. I fucking love this movie. I really do. I feel a little weird because we're just gushing all over this fucking thing. Yeah. It's just kind of like I got to have sex with Danielle Harris, and I'm kind of bragging about it. So let's expedite this, Mike.
Expedite.
Yeah, let's move this along. What really stood out to you from this movie?
Just the movie in and of itself, I think, was just an amazing piece of cinematic art. And I mean, the thing is, it didn't feel to me like just a straight up horror film. There was scenes of like great artistry. I mean, the way that some of the shots happened, and even some of the kills. I hate to say it, the way that he scalped the victims. I mean, he did it almost with kind of precision, and it was just like I don't even know what to say, but it was just like, it just seemed like almost like an art film. And I mean, I know that Cody addressed it in his little blurb in the beginning there, where he said that, the first kill really stuck with him. And I mean, yeah, it does, because he literally just like, it just comes from out of nowhere. Like, she's just looking dead into the camera, and then all of a sudden, The knife goes through the chin.
Yeah. That one was really, really good. That one stuck with me a lot, but I have to say the one that stuck with me the most, and this isn't the thing that stuck out the most to me in the film, but this is probably my favorite death in it, was his death.
You like that whole thing where it's like everybody's kind of like there, and they're like...
Oh my God, was that good? That was so good.
It was definitely one of those that was just...
That is easily one of the most impactful deaths I've seen. And I'm not saying, like, emotionally impactful. I'm saying you're going to watch this and be like, holy shit, you are not going to fucking forget that death.
You know, it's one of those where I got to tell you, it's almost like, you know, in a lot of these things, when they end, you'd think that you'd get, like, some sort of a cop-out death, you know, where maybe all of a sudden the demons in his head just drive him insane so much that he just takes a gun, sticks it in his mouth, or puts it to his head and pulls the trigger. But no, in this one you get something completely different where it's like the demons in his mind are attacking him, and it just... Yeah,
you get to see his psychosis fucking go nuts, right. And it was eye candy.
This is a mental health worker's dream, this film right here.
Yeah, this would actually be probably pretty entertaining to show to a bunch of psychology students. I really would.
I say we arrange a screening. What do you think?
I'm down.
All right.
But, Michael J., the time has come. You must cast your vote. I have no idea why I'm talking like I'm on fucking Survivor. But, what do you rate this motherfucker?
Are you calling me a motherfucker or the movie the motherfucker?
I'm just using it as an adjective.
Oh, okay. All right. So,
whatever you want to put it towards.
All right, so it's describing me. All right, so I will rate the film a 9.75 out of 10.
There's no quarters here.
No, it's 9 3/4, 9.75.
No. I agreed before on halves. We can do halves, not quarters.
Are you sure? Because I really like the 9.75.
I know. You can give it 9.5, or you can give it 10.
All right, I'll round it up then to a 10 if I have to.
Okay, you're gonna give it a 10. This one's actually a really hard one for me. I mean, I fucking really liked it.
If you give it anything less than a 9, I will be very upset.
See, here's the thing. All right, I'm gonna give it actually a 9, like Mike said.
Okay, good.
Well, here's the thing. It is kind of like, you know, a little disclaimer that goes along with it. This is a 9 in my book. I fucking love it. It is completely and utterly amazing. I will tell everyone this, though, right now. It is not the movie that I'm going to watch repeatedly.
You can't. See, that's the thing. It's a great movie, but it isn't one of those that you can watch like over and over and over again. Because it's not a slasher film. It's a very dark and disturbing film. And it's one of those that, you know, it's very impactful. And
it's very intellectual.
Right.
And it's the kind of film that you will be able to watch, and then you got to kind of forget about it a little bit, and then be like, oh, I haven't fucking seen that in forever. I thought that was really good. And then you'll put it back in, and you'll be like, holy shit, I fucking forgot how amazing that was.
Right, exactly.
That is the kind of film this one is.
Exactly. And exactly, you can't watch it every day. You can't even watch it. I don't even think you can watch it like once a month. I think this is one that maybe, if you're lucky, you can maybe sit down maybe 2 or 3 times a year.
2 a year is probably more than enough for me. Most likely for me, it would be like once a year, maybe.
Right.
But, all right. Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Just a little side note. Yeah. You notice how we didn't spoil it?
We didn't, did we?
Yeah. So we can put this motherfucker out and no spoiler warning. So there you go. Everyone that hasn't seen it, this is our spoiler-free show. Hopefully you can enjoy this. We didn't ruin anything for you. I mean, it's a fucking horror film. Of course the guy's going to die. So if you're going in thinking that's not going to happen, well, fuck you. Besides, it's a dream within a dream within a dream within a go fuck yourself anyway.
Yeah.
So should I bring it back as Freddy, though?
I mean, if you want to, go ahead.
No, not really.
No, if you want to, and then I'll be like, all right, your intro to the maid thing was over. Just stop the bullshit. Come on.
Oh, Peter, you're so silly.
You're a
Fuck
fucking
you.
Cleveland idiot. All right, we're back into the Maid now. Well, wait, we did the Maid thing. At least you didn't do that Freddy voice again, thank God.
No, we're just cutting all that out. Cut that all out. All of
That's no fun.
Yeah, all of it's gone.
You think so?
Okay. Let's put it this way.
Yeah.
It's gone, or I'm tweeting Danielle Harris, and the restraining order will be reestablished.
There is no reason to have a restraining order against her.
No, of course not against her. For her to have one against you, you won't be able to go to the fucking conventions anymore that she's at.
Though? What did I do?
You're a fucking stalker.
How am I a stalker? I don't stalk her.
Dude. You pulled her pants out of the trash.
I didn't pull her
and
pants
you have
out
them
of the trash.
up on the wall.
I didn't pull her pants out of the trash. They were given to me as a gift, and they were washed with orange-smelling detergent, and now they're in a frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, oh yeah, how was I going to bring this back? Oh, movie.
Correct.
Okay. Ready?
Always.
Are you sure?
Always.
I just know this is going to be a pain in the ass when you're editing, because you're like, oh, we're talking there.
Oh, don't worry, because this, you know what? Even if I don't open the segment with this thing, it's going to be the behind-the-scenes segment for this episode.
Which part?
You talking about the whole Danielle Harris restraining order and shit?
I
just find that enjoyable.
Fuck. Motherfuck.
Yeah, that's still be there, too.
I just like saying that. Intro it.
So, start it up, bitch.
All right, and we're back once again with Michael J. ready to spew out some fucking horror news. What you got for us, Mike?
Well, you should have said that we have something really big to start it off.
We don't.
It's huge.
Oh, yeah. When's Hatchet 3 getting a DVD release?
Well, I love Hatchet 3, but who cares about that? Well, no, actually, I do. I do, too, because I'll we can't talk about that yet because we were told by the studio not to talk about it till...
I know. We promised Adam we wouldn't talk about it.
Yeah,
Go.
So, all right.
News time.
Well, no, Hatchet 3, I think, is going to come out in August, but that's all I can say about that. No, the bigger news story of the day. I believe everyone knows a few days ago, maybe it was like a day or two ago, it was announced that Anchor Bay will be releasing a Halloween 35th anniversary edition. And on this film, because everybody has the 2000 and whenever the 25th anniversary thing was released, I believe it was 2003 was when the 25th anniversary was released, and that ported over the commentary from the 1985 Laserdisc that featured John Carpenter, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Deborah Hill. And
yeah, I didn't buy it.
I did. And it was also included on the 2008 Blu-ray release. And here's the thing. We all know that wasn't a real commentary. It was just interview excerpts and things like that were just spliced together. But they were not in the room together watching the movie. So now for the 35th anniversary edition, it's been revealed, and it is accurate, that there will be a new commentary track released with Jamie Lee Curtis and John Carpenter together. So I think that will be interesting, and as I told John before we started recording, that I will be listening only to see if Jamie Lee Curtis mentions Donald Pleasance. And
dude, I don't give a shit about that. I will. This intrigues me. I will purchase this to hear that commentary, though.
Will you have a Blu-ray player by that point, do you think, sir?
God, I hope so.
Yes. But see, that's not what intrigues me. I decided to go to Blu-ray.com because I get all my Blu-ray news from there, and I get release date info and all that stuff, pre-order info, all that good stuff. And it just so happens that they already posted a cover on Blu-ray.com for the Halloween 35th Anniversary Edition. And it honestly looks like a pretty sweet cover. Don't agree with the name placement above the title, but that's beside the point. Now, on.
Are you just disputing that because Donald isn't top billing?
He's in the middle. He's in between Jamie Lee Curtis and P.J. Souls.
Well, that's because he isn't the star. Jamie is.
No, she's not.
Yeah,
she is. She is not. And secondly,
that wrinkled old man almost dragged that fucking movie down. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And secondly, P.J. Souls' name should not even be on that cover. Charles Cypher should, who played Sheriff Brockett. Yes,
whatever.
Yes.
I'm not arguing this.
Now, here's something that you have to realize. When Blu-ray.com does their listings, they put the company that's releasing it, they put the year the movie was made, they put the running time of the movie, they put the rating, they put the release date, and then any additional things about the movie, whether there'll be different cuts of the movie or whatever present. So
deleted scenes and shit like that.
Well, no, it doesn't go that in depth. But with this, it says Halloween Blu-ray 35th Anniversary Edition. Stars Anchor Bay, which that's the studio releasing it. 1978 was, of course, the year that the movie was made. 91 minutes is the running time. It's rated R, and there's no release date. But what really caught my eye is it says one movie, 2 cuts. Now, for anybody that is a Halloween fan like myself, you know that there are 2 versions of Halloween. There is the rated R theatrical version, and there is the television version that was released by Anchor Bay on DVD, limited edition DVD, in 2001. That came with a film cell. And of course it wasn't present on the 2008 Blu-ray release. So that's leaving me to think that this Blu-ray will also contain the television version of Halloween.
Okay, so that actually intrigues me too. So,
well, I already have the television version on DVD, but
of course you do.
If they're going to include it in high definition, I will be wow. I mean, it'll be amazing. I'll have to dig up. I actually there was a guy called Mr. Movie, and he did a radio show here in Philly, on Sunday nights back in the 90s. And I actually recorded myself because I had called in to ask him about the Halloween TV footage because I didn't realize that those scenes were shot exclusively for television at the time. So I called in to ask him, this was back in maybe 1997, if he knew anything about whether a TV version was going to be released. I should try to dig up that and
oh God,
play it, and you can hear a 17-year-old Michael J. calling into a radio show. And,
oh God, interesting story, Mike. But I do have to say, your news about that Blu-ray has me actually intrigued.
You've never seen the TV version, have you?
A very, very long time ago.
Because you do realize, I was inspired in one of my films by one of the scenes from the TV cut of Halloween.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on.
Yes, exactly. And then we have something that you forwarded to me, and I think we got to get into that now, just because I don't really care. Well, I do care about it in some way, but not for the one aspect, for the other aspect. So, let me just open that up. And it says that Warner Brothers is adapting the Archie comic book series into a movie in the vein of Evil Dead with zombies. And I care about it not for the Evil Dead with zombies, because, I mean, I like the Evil Dead. I don't really care about zombies anymore. I think the zombies are pretty much dead. The zombie genre is dead in my mind. But I do love Archie. And I used to watch the Archie cartoon when it aired every Saturday morning on NBC. I loved it.
Wow. I never watched it. I don't give a shit about Archie.
Dude, you're missing
out. But the whole fact that...
Jughead was fucking amazing.
Anyway, but the whole fact that they're putting these classic characters into an Evil Dead type situation, that intrigues me. And I will definitely check this out depending on how shitty the trailer looks. I mean, if it looks like if it looks like Uwe Boll's assistant made it, I'm not watching it, obviously.
I
But
don't know if they should do live action. I think it should be animated.
I don't know. It could be really interesting to see, a live action version of this with them trying to get characters that look close to it.
The thing is, you've never seen, you've never seen the animated show, and I'm just saying that I think it'll work better animated as opposed to being live action.
Either way, it could turn out to be pretty entertaining. Hopefully there's lots of blood and gore.
No, that's not Archie. Archie's,
Well,
it's
does
gonna
Archie
be kids,
get
it's gonna
put
be
in a
kid
fucking
friendly.
situation with zombies and shit like that?
Well, I say if they do it, they make it a PG version for the kiddies to see.
No,
Make it a
fuck
family
that. They're
film.
saying they cannot say Evil Dead and fucking zombies and shit like that and then have it be
You
PG.
can
That shit
make-
doesn't fucking
You
work.
can make a family version of it, and it would still be good.
No, fuck
I
you.
know you can.
No. Okay, you can, and it'll fucking suck.
No,
but
dude,
nobody
no, it
wants
won't.
that.
It'll be a family
Nobody
film.
wants that.
Dude, we don't here because look at it this way. We don't have a family film that's zombie oriented. I think you really need that to get the kids involved.
Have you ever seen Paranorman?
I've wanted to see it, but I have not seen it yet.
Yeah.
Well, then see with that's exactly it. Then with the success of Paranorman, then that just shows you that they can do this.
But that is not the right way to go about this because they're not bringing anything original. It's replacing Scooby-Doo with Archie.
No, but it is original.
But
because
if
it's
you
Archie.
take those classic characters and you actually put them into an Evil Dead type situation where it is bloody and gory, and you see how those characters interact in that situation, that's different. That's unique. That is something I would look forward to seeing.
But see, you don't know that they're classic characters because you never watched the cartoon.
I know they fucking exist.
Well, sometimes that just ain't enough.
You can tell me if it's authentic or not.
It won't be. If
How about
they
that?
go, it won't be if they go this route. Let's just say that.
So you're saying Archie's such a bitch that in that situation he wouldn't be able to kill one of his friends if they were going to fucking eat him?
No, you don't do that. That destroys everything that Archie stands for.
Well, sometimes Archie's got to nut up or shut up.
Well, if you put it that way, then it's going to suck. But moving on.
I'm telling you, that's the way to do it.
No. Moving on. News also broke that Warner Brothers is going to, or it's rumored, that they're going to be releasing a Blu-ray box set in time for Christmas that will feature all 12 Friday the 13th films on Blu-ray. And I think that this is going to happen because I did check on Amazon, and as of January...
Warner Brothers
got the rights to release the franchise on home.
I thought it was Paramount.
Well, see, we're going to get into that in a little bit in a second here. But I do think that this Warner Brothers box set will happen.
Oh, no, you're
because
right. Shit. I read that a couple days ago.
Right. They've already released the first 3. I believe they're just reissues of the Paramount releases on Blu-ray. Like by
Most
itself.
likely.
Yeah, so then the next thing that we're going to see, they won't do individual releases, which I kind of hope they don't. At this point, just give me a box set. I'll buy a box set with the 12 of them.
I think they'll end up and do both, honestly. Where you can get the special edition, but then you can go and spend the extra money and get the cool box set like I have for DVD.
Well, what I think is going to happen is, here's what I think they'll do. I think they'll give us a box set with all 12 of them first, and then maybe 6 or 7 months down the line, they'll release 4 through 8 separately on Blu-ray. But I'll just buy the box set with all 12, 4 through the remake on Blu-ray, and then, But I'll just buy the box set in the beginning with the 12 of them and just be done with it.
I mean, if there's enough special features to actually intrigue me, or the box is badass enough, I will too. Except whoever wants Jason 10 can have it.
Just keep it. You need to. First of all, Jason X is a great film.
No, I would prefer to forget that happened. That my box set was just made with this weird extra space is what I would prefer.
See, that's idiotic. But
No, it didn't happen. That did not happen.
It was a great film, and the virtual Crystal Lake was visually stunning.
Come on, really?
Yeah.
Kane Hodder guest stars on Andromeda. Fuck that.
What's Andromeda?
Some stupid-ass sci-fi movie.
Oh,
Looks like they borrowed the fucking TV series.
I thought you were talking about the Andromeda Strain, the 70s movie. Oh,
no.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Let me say this.
Yeah.
Kane Hodder guest stars on fucking Stargate. Fuck that. Nobody wants that, or a lot of people enjoy it because it is so fucking stupid and shitty, but it's so fucking stupid and shitty. Fuck.
Wow. I sense some anger in you.
Yeah, when we were talking about the shitty Jason movies, that one is fucking worse than 5. A guy that normally fucking does close-ups of cock can shoot a better fucking movie than that.
No. Jason Takes Manhattan is worse than 5.
No. This one is the fucking king of the shit pile.
No. Not at all. That is not the
oh
king
my
of the
god.
shit.
It is. It's so fucking bad.
No. Dude, it's visually... It's ahead of its time with graphics. I mean, literally it is ahead of its time because it jumps to 2455. Dude, we'll all be dead by that time.
Do you really want me to dignify that?
I don't know if you want to.
No, not really. Let's just move on.
Okay.
I'm trying to even ignore we had that conversation. Jason 10 sucks.
Wow. Well, to each his own, but I think you're crazy. And then in the other piece of news, it's that Paramount finally got the rights back. I mean, the full rights back to the franchise, which that kind of confused me because the day before,
was the Warner Brother
the
news.
Whole Warner Brother news where they were going to release that 12-movie box set. But then now Paramount apparently has the rights back to make another film because I guess what happened was Warner Brothers was making this movie. It's a Christopher Nolan movie called Interstellar, which I believe is in pre-production. And Christopher Nolan movies cost a shit ton of money to make.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't think, and don't quote me because I'm not sure if I'm getting it exactly right, but basically Warner Brothers wanted a production partner for that because they didn't want to have to dump in all the money for it themselves. So they went to Paramount. And to get Paramount on board, they had to make some concessions with 2 of Paramount's big franchises. Number 1 is South Park, because Warner Brothers had some of the rights to that show. So they went to Paramount. The full South Park rights went to Paramount so they can make another South Park movie. And then also the rights to the Friday franchise went to Paramount. So the next Friday the 13th movie will be released by Paramount alone, and they have 5 years to work, to release another movie in both franchises, or else, the rights revert back to Warner again.
I really doubt it's going to even take that long. I say we're going to see probably a new Friday within 2 years tops.
I'll tell you what I think. I think we're going to see 5 more Fridays in 5 years because I think they're going to go back to the way that it worked in the 80s, and they're going to release 1 a year.
The only way that will work, and I'm telling you, is the first one's going to have to fucking hit, and it's going to have to hit hard in the box office and have some legs, or they're all going to be straight to DVD.
And we know how they can do that, don't we, John?
Yeah. It's very simple.
Yes.
You bring in some very good writers, a fucking talented, driven director.
Why I think that Damian Shannon, while I liked Freddy vs. Jason, I don't think Shannon and Swift handled the remake as well as they could have. So I think maybe
agree.
We should take that job.
Yeah, fuck that.
You don't think that us together could write a good Friday the 13th film?
Oh, we could. We just never get the job.
I think we could. I think we will. We're gonna work on that.
Yeah, no. Here, with that force behind it, it's gonna work, and there is enough people interested in this property that they should be able to make it work. I mean, come on, let's face facts. The Hatchet series has been pretty fucking successful, and I'm pretty sure Adam Green would cut off his fucking nuts to make one.
See, I don't think Adam I don't think Adam wants to do that, though.
I don't think he does either, honestly, but if it was offered to him, I think you'd have a very hard time turning it down. Let's put it that way.
No, I think he would, because did he not turn down the Friday the 13th found footage thing? Or was that never offered to him? That was just talked about?
I have no idea. I think 90% of that shit was all fucking rumors. But if it wasn't, yeah, I would fucking turn that down.
Well, of course you would.
It's a fucking piece of shit.
Oh. In some
Found
respect.
footage Jason Voorhees. Really?
I don't know. I thought we talked about before how a found footage thing could work.
It could. It'd be a hard sell. And you'd have so many naysayers right off the bat that it'd be a fucking hard sell.
But, you see, you gotta look at it this way, too. Another big factor in whether or not a Friday sequel will work and hit strong at the box office is who is going to play Jason. And I'm telling you right now...
There's only one clear and logical choice.
Yeah, Kane Hodder.
Derek Mears.
Nope, Kane Hodder. He deserves to come back, and I'll tell you what, now that the rights are back at Paramount, I think we can get the people that have brains in their heads, because, look, Paramount made the first 8 films, which are arguably the best of the 12. Even, don't get me wrong, I love Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason, and the remake is a decent movie. It's just not a good Friday the 13th movie. But,
it's decent.
Right. But Paramount started the franchise. They made 8 great films, 2 of which starred Kane Hodder, and, 2 of which on the New Line side starred Kane Hodder. So obviously, that is the even though Mears was great, Kane is the one who deserves to come back and play that part. He's only 58 years old. He can do it.
Only 58 years old. Here's the thing with that, Mike. You're talking like the studio has a loyalty. The studio doesn't give a fuck. And the only reason they would consider him is the name property alone and the press they would get off from Kane Hodder returns as Jason Voorhees.
Exactly. So it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer.
They did just fucking fine with the remake. I mean, that one scored pretty good in the box office, at least opening weekends.
Yeah, well,
opening
weekend.
weekend.
I mean, it made a respectable total, but still, I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah, it didn't do great, but it did good on the opening weekend. And the thing, here it was. I liked Derek Mears' performance. I thought he brought a new level of. He made Jason kind of scary to me.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of the stuff didn't work around him.
Yeah, because
I would really like to see.
If he's supposed to have Down syndrome or be a mongoloid, they don't build traps. They're not smart enough. They don't have the mental capacity to be able to do that.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about his performance. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it around him was shit. Yeah. I would like to see what he could do without a shitty script and, with the director that's fully behind that. I think that could be really entertaining. We've already seen what Kane can bring to it, and we've seen it 4 fucking times and Kane's 3 more if you want to count fucking, Hatchet.
Kane's not done, though. I think he has a lot more life to bring the character. But you know what? Let's not turn this into a Kane Hodder Derek Mears debate, because we know we'll just go back and forth debating each other, and I think in the end I'll win out, because I'll just argue it so much that you'll just give in because you just can't deal with it anymore and you want to get on with your life. So,
well, the plain and simple fact is that Kane Hodder's going to drop dead in a fucking hockey mask. I mean, do we really want to see that on film as a deleted fucking scene?
I would have it no other way. I want Kane to be buried with that hockey mask.
That's fucking sad. There's so much more to that man's life than putting on a fucking hockey mask.
Well, he doesn't think so. Here's what I want to have happen to Kane. This is what I want to see in the casket. Okay? I want him to have the hockey mask on, and then I want you to be able to turn the corpse on its stomach so you can see the Part 7 makeup where his spine and stuff is exposed. And then I want you to be able to lift the mask up and see the 7 makeup of his face.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I'm just saying, that's what I think would be great. And he
what
should
the
lie.
Fuck. We're moving on, because that...
He should actually
Oh my
lie
god,
in
that is
state.
offensive.
He should lie in state for about a week so fans from all over the world can come and pay their final respects.
That's offensive. Oh my god.
You think so?
Oh my god.
Well, we are the Morbidly Made.
Moving on. Moving on. Oh my god, Mike.
Okay, well, we also...
Oh my god. Fuck is wrong with you?
You're truly mortified by that.
So wrong, man.
It's enjoyable. Okay. Moving on, we also have some great releases from Scream Factory coming up. I don't want to say Shout Factory because it is the Scream Factory breakdown of the company. We have Psycho 2 and 3 coming to Blu-ray in special editions. That's obviously part of their deal with Universal to release Universal catalog titles on the format. No features have been released, and they're looking to release the key art reveal, or the key art, in a few weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. They probably will release, use the original theatrical art, like the poster. So usually the Blu-rays for those, and the DVDs for that matter, are reversible covers where they have newly commissioned artwork on one side, and then you flip it, and it's the original theatrical artwork. And for most of my discs I have from them, I flip it and use the original theatrical artwork, because a lot of the times with the DVD releases of the past, the original artwork is lost in the shuffle. So
I don't know. I really like a lot of the original artwork that they're putting out there, and I'm really hoping they come up with some cool features for this.
I'm sure there's going to be some commentary, but my question is, will the audio be DTS Master Audio 5.1, or will we get the DTS 2.0 tracks? Because a lot of the Scream Factory releases, while the video is excellent and the features on most of them are just amazing, you still have that issue where the audio is just, a lot of the times, it leaves a little more to be desired, only because I wish, like with The Burning, I wish that they would have had a 5.1 track on that, like a surround track on that, but instead we get the 2.0, which is fine, but I just want
a little bit more would be nice.
To surround me, So I'm kind of hoping that they correct that. So we have those two titles, the Psycho 2 and 3, are coming out on September 24th, as well as John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness.
Fuck yes.
Very excited about that, which it was just revealed that Alice Cooper recorded an interview for that release. Not a commentary, just an interview. So
either way, I'm on board. I think this is a highly underrated John Carpenter film, and the fact that you also have Alice Cooper's little interview, fuck yes, I am on board. I greatly enjoy this movie.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have more than just that interview too, but that's just a little bright spot among whatever else they're going to throw on there, which I'm sure is going to be an amazing set.
Also, the original artwork that they got for that looks fucking cool as shit.
I saw that. I did see that, although I will probably use the
original
as my cover. And then also you have the Fog will be coming out in July, and later in the there's so much other stuff coming out. I know in August they have a double feature of Schizoid and X-Ray, I believe. I've never seen either of these, but
no, never.
I'd really be into checking those out. There's another double feature coming out with Crawl Space and something else, but I can't remember exactly what it is.
That means it's impactful. You can't even remember it, so
I can't
fucking
remember.
moving on. Who gives a shit?
I wanted to see Crawl Space. Actually, coming up, probably not the next show, but the show after that, I'll have reviews of the Scream Factory Howling Blu-ray, and also the Blu-ray of Tobe Hooper's Life Force, which we talked about earlier in the show, and I was obviously wrong with that title.
Yeah, you were.
The Howling Blu-ray actually has, I believe, I don't have it right next to me, but I believe it comes out on the 18th of this month, along with Life Force. But it has a commentary, I believe, with Joe Dante, the director, and Dee Wallace.
Really?
Yeah, and Dee Wallace is on that commentary as well.
Nice. Well, we also completely forgot to mention that the Friday the 13th sequels are back on Netflix.
Yes, Friday 3. See, I don't understand why they did 3 through 8. Why didn't they do 4 through 8 since 1 through 3 are on Blu-ray already?
I don't know, buddy. But you have that option now, and who doesn't appreciate that?
Of course not. Everybody appreciates that,
Yeah.
And they're in HD, so I'm wondering now because I've had Friday 6 and 7 that I recorded from HDNet Movies on my DVR since January 3rd, 2009. So I'm wondering now if I should just delete those from the DVR because I'm hoping that they leave, them up there until the Blu-rays are released, or if I should just leave them on the DVR just in case they take them down again. What do you think?
I say delete them.
You think?
Yeah, because, regardless, you're going to have this option on Netflix for a while, and when that goes away, you should have the Blu-ray option.
You think?
I think.
Yeah, I guess it's time to just after... Dude, it's been over 4 years that they've clogged up my DVR.
Yeah. Time to get rid of them, buddy.
I guess it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have any more news for us, buddy?
I mean, with that, I was going to say that I guess it's time for us to say goodbye, but...
No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, the Big Hatchet 3 show.
Yeah. It'll be the Big Hatchet 3 show, which kicks off our Back to Camp special. This month will be all back to camp.
Actually,
we're kicking it off with
into July by now, sir.
Well, probably. But either way, next week will be our Big Hatchet 3 show for Hatchet 3's release, and will be followed up by Back to Camp. So stay tuned for that, motherfuckers.
That's right, and I guess aside from that, we will see you all next week. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Later.